For my first warm-up exercise for the entirety of my video assignment, the first one is going to be a 5-minute jog. I'm going to do it around my pool. Right, this is mainly just to get my heart rate accelerated, getting ready for harder exercises. Right, warming up my leg muscles, my calf muscles, especially because I'm going to be doing a lot of bounding things during my video presentation. And it's also going to get my arms a little bit warmed up as well. Not as much as my legs, obviously, but still getting blood flow to them at least. So I'm going to be running for 5 minutes now. I'm going to switch sides now so that my other leg is leading in. This feels weird now. Okay, and for another part of my general warm-up, I'm going to be doing Spider-Man lunges. Oh, excuse me. 15 to 20 seconds on each leg. This is mainly just to, kind of activate our hamstrings, definitely our quadriceps, a little bit of your ankles when you're putting it back, but most definitely in the hamstring and the glute area as well. I have to mention that one. So, take this go. Also forgot to mention for this stretch as well, since I am turning, I'm getting a little bit of my obliques and my back warmed up as well. So, yeah. Yeah, and for my next one, it's going to be plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. I'm going to be going about 15 to 20 seconds on each leg. No, take that back. 10 to 15. I was right the first time. Just had to check really quick. But you can also do this one with a resistance band, which is what I'm going to be doing. But the band really doesn't work on the dorsiflexion, really just the plantar flexion. Right, so I'm going to try pushing it down the whole time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And to just add a little bit of resistance, you can always just, push with your fingers back on it. And if you can't reach your toes, you can always just move them up a little bit, right? But all we're trying to do is push back on my hands so that I'm activating my calf muscles, right? And when I do the plantar flexion motion, right, I'm trying to stretch out the shin part of my muscles. Sorry, from this sport-specific warm-up, I'm going to be doing a skip. It's mainly just like every other warm-up, activate the muscles that we're going to be using, especially for stride frequency. Right, we're trying to bring our knees up nice and quick. So this is just getting us warmed up to do explosive movements with our legs a lot more. So I have 2 cones out there. I'm gonna go and get started. I'm gonna be doing 2 passes on this, so down and back is gonna be 1. I'm gonna do it twice. For my next exercise and sport-specific warm-ups, I'm going to be doing line jumps, forward and backwards, and also sideways. I'm going to be doing 20. Just get my legs warmed up, especially my calves and my ankles, because I'm going to be doing a lot of jumping later. So I definitely don't want to pull anything or tear anything, because I have really bad ankles already, so this is mainly just to help get my ankles warmed up and to help prevent injury as well. So. Okay, and now sideways. I accidentally did one more on accident. This is the last of my sport-specific warm-up. I'm going to be doing single leg hip circles. Right, this one is mainly to get the hip flexors nice and warmed up. Right, get some blood flow to them, so they're a little bit more elastic when we need them to be. I'm going to be going backwards on these. You can go forward. It does basically the same thing. It's just whichever muscle gets activated first. And that's about it. I'm going to be doing 10 on each leg as well. And this can also be used for a lot for ankle stability. I have issues with that myself, so I am probably going to lose balance a little bit. So going 10 on my left leg first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, did I say I was going backwards? I meant forwards, to be honest. Got all mixed up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. For the exercise modality of lower body plyometrics without equipment, my first exercise is jump squat, and the first variation that I'm going to be doing on jump squat is going to be a jump squat to a straddle, and I'm trying to pick my legs up off of the floor. I used to do this in gymnastics and cheerleading, does it a lot. But what we're trying to work on is that quick snap extension and a quick activation on our hip flexor muscles as well, right? So I'm going to be doing 5 of these, jumping and going like that, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And on those ones especially, you're going to be feeling it on your hamstrings when you're bringing them up. It'll be a little bit of a stretch as well as a strain that you feel. For the exercise modality of lower body plyometrics without equipment, I chose to do for my first exercise squat jumps, and for this variation on that, I'm going to be doing a squat jump into a tuck jump. And on this one especially, I'm just trying to, from an extension position, bring my legs up from the ground. I'm adding the squat jump just to help with the explosive power, right? For my lower body plyometrics without any equipment exercise modality, for one of my exercises, I decided to do squat jump. This variation is going to be going squat jump uphill, right? So I'm having to use a lot more power to get my knees up to a higher elevation than what I started out before, and it just continues to go. So I'm progressively loading on more restrictions, and I'm going to be doing up the hill 3 times. So I'm going to start all the way down there, and then I'm going to get up here near the concrete and then go back down. Right, so on these, I'm trying to make sure that my feet don't stay on the floor for too long, and then I'm getting a nice powerful extension or explosive force off of the ground. To make this harder, I could try to make sure that my feet aren't on the ground for as long in the amortization period or phase of the exercise, and I'm gonna go finish my last one. And the main muscle groups that are used to this one are definitely the quadriceps, a little bit of your hamstrings, and also a major factor is the calf muscles, both anterior and posterior muscle groups are used in this exercise. To make it harder, I can, like I said earlier, shorten the amortization phase of the exercise. I can make this deep, or I can make the hill steeper. Well, I can't make it, but I can find one that's bigger. I could add weights to my legs, add weight to my chest with a body vest. For exercise modality, lower body plyometrics without equipment, my second exercise is split squats, and the first variation of that is going to be split squat jumps. I'm staying on one leg until I am done with that leg, and then I'm going to switch legs to my left. I'm doing it 5 times on each leg. This is mainly for strengthening of our quadricep muscles, especially, and we are working a little bit on our calf muscles, and especially for someone like me who has weak ankles, we are going to be working on ankle stability as well in this exercise. So I'm going to do my 5. And switching legs. Right, and to make that one harder, we can obviously put on a bodyweight vest. That one would be, I would say, the better alternative to ankle weights, just because since we are mainly using our quadriceps to jump, having a heavier set upper body would make it harder than just ankle weights. For the exercise modality of lower body plyometrics without equipment, my second exercise is split squats, but for this variation, I'm going to be alternating each time that I do one, and I'm going up to 10 on this one. What makes this one different is that since I'm having to jump and switch my legs, I'm going to be using my hip flexors as well in this drill. One. Right, so 10 in all, 5 on each leg on that one, and the main muscles that we're going to be using are our quadriceps, our hip flexors, and a little bit of our hamstrings and our calf muscles as well. For my exercise modality of lower body plyometrics without equipment, my last variation on the set is going to be a split squat. My exercise is split squat. The last variation that I'm going to be doing is a split squat, and then I'm gonna be pushing back to standing position, and then doing the same with the other leg. And on this one, I'm gonna do 5 times on each leg. Since we're falling forward and we're having to stop ourselves, it's putting a little bit more strain on the hip flexor when we lean forward, and also on our hamstring when we put that foot forward. Whenever on this one, the explosiveness is coming from when we are pushing back, right? So namely, the main muscles in this pushback are definitely going to be our quadriceps, and definitely in our anterior calf muscles when we're pushing off the tip of our foot. We're also going to be using a little bit of our glute on the opposite leg and the hamstring to kind of lift ourselves and push us back into the rest of the position. So I'm going to be doing 5 on each side really quickly. So, 1. Now 6. 7. 8. 9. And that was 10 on each leg. Especially for this one, it is a little bit slower when we're falling, but to make it harder, we can obviously have the person have to push back against something, like a partner standing behind me, giving me a little bit of resistance. Would definitely go a long way to help. So for my second exercise modality, I chose resisted sprinting exercises. And one of the ones that I chose was parachute sprints on a flat ground and also uphill. But I'm going to be doing the flat ground right now. I'm going to be running all the way to that tree right down there, that tree over there. And then I'm going to be running back. I'm going to be doing it 3 times. Down and back is 1. So I'm just going to get started real quick. For my second exercise modality, I chose resisted sprint exercises, and my second variation of uphill sprint exercises is going to be uphill sprints with the parachute, just to make it a little harder. So I'm going to be doing this one 3 times as well, just because it's not too bad. I feel pretty good today. All right, and I'm about to do my final one. That's enough. To make that exercise harder, you can do quite a bit of things. The first one being to increase the amount of distance you sprint, adding ankle weights, adding a body weight vest. So for my my exercise modality where I chose resisted sprint exercises. My first exercise was parachute sprints, and the third variation of my parachute sprints is going to be parachute sprints with ankle weights on, right? Just to make it the hardest that I can without adding on like a weight vest and running against the wind as well. So I'm going to be doing 4 of these. Down is 1, back would be 2, just to make it all nice and neat. That's 2. To make this exercise to make this size harder, I can add heavier ankle weights, a bigger parachute so it catches more wind. I can increase the distance, and you can also make it uphill like I do. For my second exercise modality with sprints uphill, or exercise modality of resisted sprint training, my second variation of uphill sprints is going to be uphill sprints with weight or ankle weights, right? Just to make every stride that I do a little bit harder. And since we're going uphill, it'll be especially even harder, right? So the ankle weights are to help with the stride frequency, and going uphill will be able to enhance the stride length that I'm going for. I should definitely be feeling this in my quadriceps and in my gluteus, definitely my hamstrings, and just a little bit in my arms. I'm going to be doing 3 of these as well, going to the top of the hill. My third variation for resisted sprint exercises, uphill sprints, is gonna be a sit and sprint. So I'm gonna sit right here, right next to the camera, with my hands up in the air, and then whenever I'm ready to go, I'm sprinting up that hill, right? This is an explosive exercise for when you're having to get up on our feet and then explosively into the starting position of our sprint, right? And obviously sprinting uphill is going to be an explosive exercise as well, but starting at a sit will make it much harder for me to I expend more energy before I start sprinting. So I start sitting with my hands in the air, right, and I'm quickly going. I'm gonna be doing 3 of these as well, and I'm gonna say this is my second variation, not my third, but just start sitting. My hands up. I'm gonna do my third one real quick. Hands in the air. For my second exercise modality of resisted sprint exercises, my third variation of uphill sprints is going to be a depth drop to a sprint uphill. So I'm going to start on the platform that I've got my camera seated on. I'm going to do a depth drop off of that, run to the second one, the second pole, and then do a depth drop from that pole, and then sprint back this way. I'm gonna do that 4 times in total. Like every other sprint, we're trying to explosively get our legs, our knees up as high as we can and right back down to the floor as quick as we can for frequency. Right, to make any one of these harder, you can always make the depth drop a little higher. You can add ankle weights onto the person. You can increase the distance, and you can also time them as well to make this exercise hard. For my exercise modality for the agility ladder drills, I'm going to be starting off with medicine ball imitation tire drills with the ladder. So what I'm going to be doing is 1 foot should be in, 1 foot should be out of the agility ladder. I'm trying to pick my knees up really high, like as if I'm doing tire drills. Okay, just to, you know, get my foot clear of the tire. And the medicine ball will be going above my head, arms extended, and I'm trying to hold it there the whole time while going through as quickly as I can. So I'm going to show you that real quick. I'm going to be doing 3 times. So down is 1, and I'm going to do it 3 times. And the other side. For my second variation on the agility ladders, I decided to do reverse imitation tire drills with the med ball with my belt overhead. Same thing as last time, going forward, trying to get our knees up nice and high, right back good and straight, really trying to go explosively with our legs, and our arms are mainly there just to help stabilize and just make it a little harder on ourselves. To make this drill harder, you can either go backwards like I am, you can add weight, you can use real tires, you can extend the length that they have to go, or you can make them do it timed to where it doesn't matter how long it is, they just have to do it for a set duration. So I'm going to be doing this one 3 times as well. Right, so well above my head. Okay. I'm not the greatest at this, so. So for my last variation on the agility ladder drills, I'm gonna be doing 2 feet in or 2 foot in lateral run or ladder runs or forward runs, right? So every time I have to get 1 foot in and the second foot in, and then I get to move on to the next ladder, right? Just like all the other agility explosive drills, right? I'm gonna be focusing mainly on trying to get my knees up nice and high, right? Get that stride frequency, you know, higher. It's always nice. It's all gonna be coming from the force of our legs, right? Especially our quadriceps and our ankle muscles, right? And as well as our feet muscles as well. So I'm gonna be going twice on this one. So down and back. My second exercise for exercise modality with the agility ladder, my second exercise is gonna be jumps or hops. I mean, they're just so much hop exercises. But the first one is going to be a single leg hop going forward only, right? So my single leg is obviously gonna be in the agility ladder squares. And I'm trying to, every time I'm trying to pick my knee up real high for that nice explosive power in my knee especially, right? And I'm obviously gonna be using my arms like I would if I was running as well, just to help with the technique. I'm gonna be doing it 3 to 4 times. I'm thinking more so to 3. It's probably gonna be 3. Alright, let's switch legs. On that one, I did 4 times, so both foot got twice. I didn't think about that at the time before starting. So for my second exercise variation on jumps and hops for the exercise modality of agility ladder, I'm going to be doing, for my second variation, single leg lateral hops. Right, so I should be facing the camera. I'm gonna start with either leg, and I'm like when I did my forward hops, I'm really trying to pick that knee up as high as I can for the nice quick explosive power, right, that little jump that we want. And then I'm gonna do it 4 times. Going up that side was a lot harder because it's a little uphill, but there's a bunch of different ways you can make this one harder or easier. You can decide not to pick your knee up. You make the spaces in between a little bit bigger, so you have to jump farther. So for my last exercise variation on jumps and hops for the agility ladder modality, I'm going to be doing this time 2 foot in forward hops. So every time I'm jumping in between the agility ladders, I'm trying to get both knees up this time like a tuck jump, I'm basically doing tuck jumps in between each ladder and trying to get both feet in, right? But mainly trying to get my legs explosively up off of the floor, right? I'm definitely working on some leg power for stride frequency on this one. And on this one, I'm gonna be going 4 times as well. To make this one harder, we can add leg weights. You can add leg weights to the student, making the spaces smaller on this one. On this one will definitely be the harder way to go, just because when you're using your 2 feet, you have way less room for error. For the exercise modality of reaction and quickness time drills, I'm going to be having my partner from above me drop the tennis ball. We are working on hand-eye coordination during this drill and the quickness of our feet, being able to move from one spot to another. So I'm going to be doing 5 drops as well. For the next variation of tennis ball exercises with quickness and reaction time as my modality, I'm going to play the role of a soccer goalie, and I'm going to be trying to stop my partner from throwing these balls at the closet door. Right, this is going to be working on my explosive power to quickly stop the ball. I can make this harder by having someone throw extra times or even kick. You can use a real soccer ball in this instance. You can use tennis ball, right? To make it harder, we can always make the ball smaller so it's easier or harder to see. We can make the ball heavier so they have to put more force into stopping it as well. But I would say going with the smaller ball size would be a much better alternative to making this drill harder. I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be trying to stop 5 balls. We'll see how I do. And partner, whenever you're ready. Okay, now 5 times. I did pretty good. For the exercise modality of reaction and quickness drills, I'm going to be having a partner throw a ball at the wall. I'm going to be facing towards the camera. I know I'll be able to look technically behind me, but I'll try to block it with my body as much as I can. But that's just the angle that I had to go with to make everything work. But I'm going to be doing 5 of these. And this is mainly just to work on our agility, right? Because I don't know where the ball's going to be going. So it's not predetermined. It's not going to be a change of direction. It's agility and reaction and also speed that we're training on this drill. So. Okay, I missed the first time. Okay, whenever you're ready. Okay, I need to get ready to work. Keep on the same side. Okay. It's so soft. Wish I had it. That was breathing. Yeah, okay. I'll get the next 2. Come on. Okay. Yes, that's over. Next 2. I knew it. Wait, right, that's one way that we can make it way easier or even harder. This exercise is just by changing the size of the ball. Even the material that it's made out of, you can make it more bouncier than a tennis ball, right? For my exercise modality with quickness and agility drills, I decided to use a medicine ball for a falling medicine ball chest pass. So I'm going to start on one knee and one leg up in a lunge position, and I'm stepping out of the lunge extension, or getting out of the lunge extended, right? And I'm mainly trying to use quickness in my front leg, whichever one is the starting one. And then it's going to be an explosive chest pass as well, right? So I should be feeling this definitely in my quads, my hamstrings, on the lateral, especially on the lateral sides, since I am in the lunge position. And I should most definitely be feeling it in my shoulders, a little bit in my chest on the chest pass, and in my triceps. And I'm going to be doing 8. For exercise modality 4, I chose quickness and agility tests with equipment, and I chose a medicine ball for this one. I'm going to be doing overhead backward throws. So I'm going to go here first, extend all the way back, throw it above my head, and try to see how far back I can make it. Right, the quickness for this drill is going to be after we're out of the squat and we're snapping into the upright back position with our arms down. And then the quickness of how fast we can get it from the down position and up over our head. For this one, I'm going to be doing another set of 8 here, snapping, throwing it, throwing it, picking it up, coming down, swing. Swing as fast as I can. Forward. 5. 6. 7. And to make any of those exercises harder, we can obviously make the ball heavier, and we can add resistance bands to my upper chest, so it limits the amount of easy range that I get from the swing of my arms. For the quickness and agility drills with the medicine ball, my second variation is going to be underhand forward medicine ball throws. Just got mixed up on the name for a second. On this one, we do start in the same position. We're down, but this time the extension is going to be going forwards, right? So using my glutes and my hips to push myself forward with a nice quick snap, and then at the end I'm throwing the ball just nice underhand. It's not going above my head, it shouldn't be going where it could hurt me, but I'm going to do another set of 8 with these, so I have to go get the ball every time. Right, so standing here, ooh, extension. Sorry, my foot slipped a little bit there. Right, number 2, band, explode. Try to keep our back a little bit more engaged. I just threw my stomach out there. which is not something that you want to do. You want to keep it nice and tight, right? So that's a little better. Extension, row. Extension, row. Extension, row. For the exercise modality of speed hurdle drills, I decided to use, or for my first exercise, to be hurdle jumps, and my first variation on the hurdle jumps exercise is going to be alternating single leg hops. So I'm going to be doing 4 of them, one down that way, switching legs, and then one down the other way. Switching legs. On that exercise especially, I'm working on trying to quickly go from heel to top of my toe very quickly, working on the quickness of my ankle, and definitely my calf muscles, on the explosiveness. One way to make this harder would be to separate the cones so that I have to, with one leg, hop farther every single time. The exercise modality that I chose for this one was speed hurdle drills. The exercise that I chose was hurdle jumps. The exercise variation that I'm going to be doing this time is going to be speed jumps, right? So I'm trying to do them as quick as I can through the thing. Not really worried about how high my knees go on this one. It's mainly just trying to quickly go forward off of quick little hops, right? Using our eccentric, right? Amortization, and concentric, trying to quickly blow off. We're just trying to use our ankle muscles mainly in our calves. You're not really trying to use your quadriceps as much on this one, but since you are going forward, right, and we're going to be pushing our back out, the core is going to be engaged, our obliques are going to be engaged, our back's going to be engaged. So it's pretty good on our lower legs, but it's also good on working stability issues as well. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to be doing 3 times. So now I'm back to 1. A common mistake you can make on this one, like I did in my first jump into it, is bringing my legs too high and making it more of a quadriceps exercise. We're really only just trying to get the minimal amount of vertical displacement above the speed hurdle. We're mainly trying to work on that quick horizontal displacement instead. My next variation on the speed hurdle drills, for this one, it's going to be 2-foot jump and stick. On this one especially, I am working on trying to go as explosively as I can from a seated position or a squat position. Every time, it's important that I stop and wait a second so that I'm not utilizing the amortization part of the concentric motion. I'm completely getting rid of it so that I'm just going to be starting here first and explosively going forward. I'm going to be doing 3 sets of these. Down and back is 1. Jumping, sticking, jumping, sticking, jumping. Right on this one, especially, I'm trying to make sure that I'm going up more than I'm going out. I'm explosively trying to get more vertical displacement on this exercise. Right, and you should definitely feel this in your quadriceps. A little bit in our calf muscles, so we're pushing off with our feet, but it's mainly going to be in that going down eccentrically into our squat position. To make that one harder, you can always add ankle weights, a body vest. I made it hard on myself by making sure that the speed hurdles were close together so that I wouldn't be able to, or I wouldn't be tempted to jump as far forward. I'd be more so worried about going up. On this exercise modality for speed or hurdle speed drills, my first exercise is hurdle sprints. So the first exercise variation I'm going to be doing is lateral high knees to a sprint. This one especially, I'm going to be working on the pivot transition from high knees to when I sprint back to the other side. Right, this is definitely going to be put a lot of strain on the lateral side of my ankle and my knee. So we're definitely going to be working with some ACL quickness, and also definitely the lateral side of our quadricep. This one's working on our agility, especially. It's an agility strengthening exercise, especially with the pivot. It's what I'm trying to get across. But on this one, I'm going to be going twice, so down and back, one, so it's going to be going down 4 times. A little bit of mud over there. Jeez. Oh, wait, I'm hitting. Right, on that exercise especially, I did it twice just so that I would pivot each time on one leg, and I don't have a really good pivot leg and a really bad pivot leg. That wouldn't be good, especially if you're in a sport like football where you don't know which side you need to pivot on first before, right? You don't want to cause an injury because one side is way stronger than the other because you only like one leg. So for this exercise modality, speed hurdle drills, my next variation on speed hurdle drills is going to be 2 foot in forward sprints, trying to get my legs as quickly as I can down to the ground, and I have to make sure that both of my feet, 2 feet, get inside each hurdle before I move on to the next one. This one's definitely working on our stride frequency. I'm trying to make sure that our feet get down to ground as quick as we can, and working on stabilizing our body as well. So on this one, I'm going to go twice. Down and back is 1. So here we go. it's always a good idea to count, right, your first step in, and then just try to keep a nice rhythm. Otherwise, you're gonna end up messing yourself up like I did that first time. And it's not too big of a deal if you use another foot, but it does definitely throw you off. So I would try my best to avoid it. To make this one harder, you can definitely make the cones, not the cones, the speed hurdle drills closer together. It forces you to have to pick up your legs and not move as much. So you're definitely going to be working less on the stride length, and you push them together more. You're working on that stride frequency, and then you can always add on more hurdles. You can add on ankle weights to make it harder. A body vest wouldn't make it as hard as ankle weights because you are picking your legs up. So ankle weights, I would say, would be the much better option when you are doing this drill. My next variation on speed hurdle drills is going to be a lateral back and forward weave. This one I always kind of mess up on a little bit, I'll be real. It's a little neuromuscular hard for me. I don't know why. Just I don't have good ankles. I do know why. I don't have good ankles. So on this one especially, since I am gonna be leaning forward more a little bit, I'm definitely engaging my back muscles, right? And just like in a sprint, we're gonna be leaning forward too. So this is definitely beneficial for sprinters, especially, I would say. And we're definitely gonna be using a lot of our quadriceps and our calf muscles and ankle muscles especially. So not really much of our arms are gonna be activated with this exercise, but it's mainly our lower body, our legs. On this one, I'm just gonna be going down and back because I'm not good at it. So I'm just gonna do this one time. Honestly, that's a little bit better than I was thinking. And for this drill especially, I'm training change of direction ability, right? It is preordained. I'm not changing anything. If I had someone throwing a ball at me or something, and trying to catch it at the end, definitely would be an agility exercise. But since I'm not doing none of that fancy special stuff, this one is perfectly, this one works perfect for change of direction ability. I got my A's mixed up there for a second. This is exercise modality 6, upper body plyometrics with equipment. My first exercise is going to be shoulder press. To start with, I'm going to do one arm shoulder press, medicine ball throws. Okay, right, so using a little bit of my knees, my quadriceps, but a majority of the power and technique is going to be coming from this little this final push, right, where I'm using my shoulder, and then lastly using my lats to activate, and then my bicep and tricep to finish the throw along with my wrist, right? So it's a whole arm workout, right? But first I'm gonna start with 8 on each arm. So a little bend down and throwing straight up into the air. And then again, I'm just trying to go for height on this one, right? Trying to throw it straight up into the air. Not really super far forward, right? I'm now going to switch arms. Go sideways on that one. Last count there. We'll just do 2 more in case. Wait. So I broke my eye. Alright, last one. For upper body plyometrics with equipment, that's my modality for this one. The exercise that I chose was shoulder press, but I'm going to be using the med ball on this variation. It's going to be two-handed, and I'm explosively going to try to throw it up at the top. And I'm going to be using my legs a little bit in this exercise, but I'm explosively trying to make it snap, leave my hands, and I'm going to be catching it. So they are overhead shoulder press throws with a med ball, and I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing 10 of them. So starting down here, do a little bump, 1, catch it, little bump, 2, catch it, 3, catch it, 4, catch it, 5, catch it, 6, catch it, 7, catch it, 8, catch it, 9, catch it, and 10, catch it. Right, on this one, we can always make it a little bit harder just by making the med ball heavier. You can completely eliminate the bend in my knees, but I just wanted to show that bending your knees a little bit and giving it that little extra oomph helps to make it more explosive, and also you are activating just a little bit more of your quadricep muscles in there, and that's always a good idea, especially when you're working with plyometric exercises and we're trying to generate as much power as we can. For upper body plyometrics with equipment, the exercise that I chose was shoulder press. This is going to be my next variation on it. It's going to be a one-armed dumbbell shoulder press. I'm trying to explosively throw it up eccentrically, eccentrically, and trying to control that weight coming back down, right? But I really want that quick, explosive power movement, and I'm going to be doing 8 on each arm. Actually, I'm going to do 10, actually. I changed my mind. Feel a little bit better that I'm holding the weight. So 1, 2, 3, right. Trying to quickly pop it up, right. Nice little quick. That was 3. Extension on that joint. 4. You could give it a little bit of air toss at the top, right? Just let it go a little bit, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I don't know if you were able to notice in the video, but when I did explosively go at the top, I did let go with the base of my hand and tried to, let my fingers mainly hold it, and then obviously I'm just following the weight right back down, but that's what makes it more of a plyometric exercise, because I am explosively pushing it up. It does catch a little bit of air time as it leaves my hand just a little bit, and then I'm coming back down with it. The added weight from when it reaches the inside of my palm will push it back down concentrically, which is always good for exercises. With the exercise modality of upper body plyometrics with equipment, I'm going to be starting with medicine ball, laying down medicine ball pushes. Right, so I'm throwing it into the air, I'm laying down so that none of the power is coming from my legs. I'm not able to use my legs to extend. mainly just trying to use my chest, right, and my biceps in this one. I'm going to be doing 10 reps on this. I'm trying to explosively throw it at the top. So, 1, 2, oh gosh, hold on my hands, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right, for that exercise specifically, we can always make it harder by increasing the weight of the medicine ball. We can have someone also at the top throw it to us, so that on the concentric phase of the exercise, there's the added force of whoever's throwing it down at you or dropping it, because they might be able to put it at a height taller than what you're able to throw. This is a very good exercise for basketball players, especially when you are having to do that chest pass. It would definitely make it a lot easier during a game if your arms are conditioned for that specific movement. For the exercise modality of upper body plyometrics with equipment, my next variation on the push-ups is going to be an explosive push-up to my hands on the medicine ball, right? And on this one specifically, whenever we do the push-up and put our hands here, we're using our wrist stabilizers to keep us up, and definitely still in our shoulders, right, in our arms. But there's an added strain to our wrist and forearm muscles on this one. So I'm going to be doing 10 of this one as well. To make that one easier, we can always, not always, but we can, instead of doing a push-up, we can just go from here, do a quick little spring off of the floor. We don't have to go all the way down, and then push to our hands on the ball. We can always do it on our knees as well, right? Just like that. That definitely makes it way easier to do. But other than that, I can't really, well, there aren't much other ways to make this one much easier, except for someone above you pulling you with a resistance band of some kind. That would also be another way to make this one easier. To make this one harder, we can always increase the reps. We can have a ball that's a little bit smaller, right, so that when I am doing my push-up, my chest doesn't stop me from completing a full range of motion push-up, or even a more of a depth push-up where we try to touch our chest to the ground. For exercise modality of upper body plyometrics with equipment, my last variation on the push-up exercise is going to be alternating hands on the medicine ball. On this one, where we're really trying to be explosive is when we're pushing off of the ball and landing back on it, and then we're switching. We're going to be pushing the ball to the other side. My medicine ball has sand in it, so it's a little bit harder to move in these quick movements. But if you didn't have one that was sand and it was just normally weighted, it'd be easier for you to do an explosive push-up and also throw the ball at the same time. But mine just doesn't move like that. It hits a spot and all the weight settles at the bottom, so it doesn't move very well. But that's one way to make this drill harder, is to have a different kind of medicine ball. We can always make it heavier as well and increase the reps that we are doing during this exercise. Way to make this one easier is to just do it on our knees, right? Have someone hold us a little bit by our hips or whatnot with a resistance band or with just their hands. And I'm going to be doing 5 on each arm, so that'll be 10 in total. I also forgot to mention so let me catch my breath for a quick second. For that one, especially, we're trying to use our shoulder or not trying to, but the most activation that we're going to be getting is within our shoulders, our biceps and our triceps, and you're definitely going to be feeling it in your wrists, especially with the quick push-off motion from the floor, and as well as when you are moving your weighted medicine ball, you are putting more strain every time you push it to the side. So it's a pretty good wrist workout as well, and it will definitely help strengthen all those nice ligaments and flexors and extensors when you're doing this drill. And it will definitely help with stability issues as well, when we strengthen all those ligaments. So I have reached the cool down segment of my video assignment, and I'm going to be starting off with neck stretches. I'm going to be doing each side for 20 seconds. And switching. Ooh. The next one I'm going to do is going to be a seated twist. And I'm going to be doing this one as well, 20 seconds on each side. Ooh. That one on my back a little. Not my back, not my rhomboids. And switching sides. Wait. Oh, there it goes. The next one I'm going to do is a reclined spinal twist. So I'm going to be laying down on the floor for this one and crossing my body over, trying to make sure that my shoulders are on the ground as well. And I'm doing 20 seconds on each side. I'm pulling my leg to try to touch my knee to the floor on this one. Ooh. This way. Show me. And this thing now. Ooh, I just popped that again. I'm gonna hold this one just a couple seconds longer. I felt that one in my back a little bit more. Or I need that one just a little bit more. and now I'm gonna do single leg hip raises. Right, and I'm gonna put one leg on top of the other just to kind of add a little bit extra weight. And this one, I'm going to be doing 20 seconds or 20 seconds on each leg as well. That feels good. Trying to keep my hips up on this one and switching legs. The next one I'm going to be doing is a quadriceps and ankle stretch. So I'm just gonna be sitting back on my feet, essentially just like this. And I'm gonna be doing this one 20 seconds as well. Ooh, jeez. Look at my stopwatch. And the next one is lunges. This one as well, I'm gonna be doing 20 seconds each leg. So 52, okay. Well, you should definitely be feeling this one in our hamstrings and our hip flexors as well. And we all know, or not we all, but the reason why we cool down is, you know, just to increase our heart rate at a steady rate. It's it's healthier for us. And I probably should have looked at the time before I start talking. So 7, so I'm gonna go to 27 on this leg. Which is pretty good, because I always start with my good leg first, and then I finish with my bad leg, which is usually my left one. I don't know why. But, and then leaving off on butterfly for 30 seconds. So I'm gonna get that started. Okay. All right, trying to, on this one, push my knees down to the ground and my feet on the ground as well. When I was a kid, I knew someone who could push all the way down, which was weird to me. But this is a stretch for our inner our hamstrings. Ooh, that feels good. Okay, and the next one is going to be the downward dog. I'm going to do that this way. I'm going to be doing this one for 20 seconds. On that one, a little bit in my back, but I always mainly feel that one in my shoulders, but I feel like that's just because of the way I'm built. After downward dog, I'm going to be doing a seal stretch, and this one is mainly just to focus on our back, and I'm going to be doing this one for 20 seconds as well. Another way to make this one harder, you always can just look up. It puts more pressure, or it extends your stomach more, puts a little bit more pressure on that back and your hips. So always one good way to make this one just a little bit harder. And after that, we have a chest stretch. So I'm going to put my fingers together behind my back and extend my elbows, really push out my back, and try to squeeze my shoulder blades together. You'll feel this one a little bit too in your traps as well as in your chest, but I really like this one, especially because it works on my elbows too and my biceps. Then I got a little carried away with the yapping there for a second and lost track of my time. So after chest stretches, I have wrist flexion and wrist extension. Wrist flexion and wrist extension. Stretches. And I'm going to be doing these both for about 20 seconds each. You should definitely feel this one in your forearms as well. And I'm going to be doing a side stretch now. Ooh, my knees popped. So for this one, I'm going to be standing up, and all I'm going to be doing is reaching over on each side. For this one, I'm going to be doing 20 seconds each. So, yeah. Right, I can always use my arm and push my hips out a little bit, right, to get a little bit more of that extension, and also just pushing my arm over my head as much as I can. Switching sides. And my stopwatch just turned off. I'm gonna start over on this one, but that you can hold on to something like a doorway or a bench, quite literally anything, just help support yourself. I'm gonna do this one just a little bit longer because my ankle's been hurting just a little bit. Right, and then I can always just switch over. I put my hand on the doorknob and start my last 20 seconds on this leg. Right, this one is definitely to help stretch out your quadriceps, and that's why it's called standing quadriceps stretch.